Well, today is part four of a four-part series on financial literacy for your nonprofit board. And today we are going to be talking about how to implement that training and offer the encouragement your board needs. Hi, my name is Teresa Clark, and I'm a CPA with over 25 years worth of experience with 501c3 nonprofits. I've served as the CFO in a nonprofit organization, and I've also served as an external auditor. So I have both experience inside and outside. And that 25 years worth of experience has brought me to this place of really realizing how much value I can bring to so many nonprofits. And so my passion is to help leverage the wisdom that I've had to serve nonprofits in my consulting capacity so they can answer their unique financial questions and be ready to serve the missions they're called to be a part of. You can learn more about me and access my resources at my website, teresaclark.com. Okay, in our previous lessons, we've talked about how to assess where your board is at. If you missed those, go ahead and go back and check them out. I don't want you to miss that. But today we're actually talking about how to execute that training or how to implement the training in a way that is able to connect and grow them. So there's a few things we need to be focused on. The first one is the audience. From your assessment, you're going to have an idea of how many people on your board need this training. That should help you choose the format that's best. If it's just one, well, you might want to offer a format that's recorded and that they can go ahead and just access as needed. If it's like 90%, well, let's do an in-person one, and let's take time in a board meeting to cover those topics. So that helps you to define what you're going to do. Next, you want to think about the format. Is this going to need to be an interactive format, one that they get their hands in there and they touch a report and they flip it, or they, engage in a conversation with each other to discuss something or to ask one another questions? Maybe if you've got experienced and inexperienced or confident and not so confident board members in the financial area, you can partner them up and have them do it in a way that's very interactive and side by side. Or sometimes a presentation format that's informational and instructional that can kind of be more of initially a one-way presentation could be a good format. So things to consider. Also, as we were discussing delivery, whether it's in the board meeting, you might want to consider whether a guest is helpful or if it'd be just good to have an existing staff or existing board member present the information. As we mentioned earlier, you can have it in a recorded library for those who maybe are new to the board, or when you have a situation when there's just one or two that really needed the information, you can make it available. And then the last thing is a relational or a mentoring program. So depending on the size of your board, you could have a situation where you link up those interactive relationships to partner up someone who's really strong maybe on the program side with someone who's really strong on the administration and finance side of the nonprofit as a board member. And you can link them up so that they can spend some time just sharing and evaluating and transferring what they know and how they like to serve your nonprofit. Next is you want to make it relevant. Use real life examples. Apply the principles that are being taught to your organization. This is a great time to tell stories. Tell the financial stories. Tell the history of the organization's finances. I have found so many times that those things are lost, and the greatest testimony of what's possible is oftentimes the history of what's happened. So when we tell those stories and make the financial principles of the nonprofit relevant to the board members, it can inspire hope. It can inspire engagement for what's ahead. Let's have visual aids. So let's have slides or live reports that we're able to annotate, circle items, highlight things, and then give them a handout as well. Give them something that they can write on. If you have a culture of not letting those reports circulate in print, well, all means collect them back after. But I think if people can touch and see and experience things, they're more likely to remember what they've learned. And in that note, you really want to create a culture. You're probably thinking by now, Teresa, if we did all these trainings you're talking about, we would do nothing except talk about finances. I'm aware of that. That's a good point. But let's start somewhere. maybe you make it a goal to do one of these trainings. Last video, we talked about the types of trainings you might do. Do one of them a year. That would be better than maybe what you're doing now. Do one of them a year and record them, and then make them available in your board library so that they can be revisited as needed. And then lastly, though, I really want to encourage you to make this a culture where there's openness and there's, just conversation, and people can ask anything that they need or want to, but have fun. Have fun. Looking at the money of the organization doesn't have to be sad and mundane. There are seasons when it feels that way, but have fun. Have fun growing together. Have fun learning and serving your nonprofit. All right, well, this was the final part in a 4-part series. And if you want to make sure you don't miss my future content that comes out, then you can sign up to receive my weekly financial tips in your inbox. So you can do that by going to teresaclark.com/blog, and there'll be a sign up link on that page. I'd love to keep these in your inbox so you don't miss a moment. And if you've got any topic suggestions, send me a note. I'd love to hear from you.